right here I have this year's Quick Reads titles, and I'm going to read and review them for you here. So welcome to another reading vlog. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews here at the weekend. All of my reviews are spoiler free, and I am a self-confessed Quick Reads fan. I have a playlist of Quick Reads reading vlog videos where I read the entire series and bring you my thoughts. So I will leave that linked up above because I have read these Quick Reads in interesting places in the past. These have mainly been read right here in my house this year. But let me tell you a little bit about this year's titles. So just so you know, Quick Reads are generally available in your local library. They are also a very important part of the reading agency, and a couple of years ago it looked like they were going to have to go away, but they were funded by Jojo Moyes and some other people. So they are specifically, obviously, Quick Reads, but they are specifically designed so that they are slightly easier to read, more accessible. The print is larger, and is supposed to be a dyslexia friendly print as well, and so that it makes sure that all adults and young adults, which you'll see in a minute, have access to reading. So this year we have Game On by Matt Cain, which is about Tom and Cosmo. Can you love the player if you hate the game? So Tom's a football player, Cosmo's a journalist, and it's a bit of a enemies to lovers type of romance, and this one comes in at 116 pages. Then we also have one of the world's best crime writers, Joe Nesbo, The Jealousy Man. On a Greek island, a man is found dead. His own twin might have killed him. Detective Nikos Bali is searching for the murderer, but he has his own secrets he wants to hide. Can Nikos solve the mystery before someone else gets hurt? So it's a tense thriller, this one. And this one, I think, was the longest one, perhaps. It is, no, sorry, the shortest one. 93 pages. I knew it was either the longest or the shortest. And then we also have a young adult title this year, which is a condensed, abridged version of another title. And it's a version of Boys Don't Cry by Mallory Blackman, which obviously came out quite a few years ago now, and I did read the full version of it, but I basically didn't remember an awful lot about it, and so reading this one as part of this reading vlog was a real eye-opener. So 17-year-old Dante is waiting for his A-level results. He's got it all planned out, and if his results are good, he'll go to uni and study to be a journalist. But while he's waiting, the doorbell rings, and his ex-girlfriend is carrying his baby. Dante agrees to look after the baby for an hour or two. Then his ex doesn't come back, and Dante's plans have to change. With the help of his father and brother, Dante must learn how to be a single parent. And this one did make me cry a little bit. So keep watching to see that. Then we have Karen Swan, The Last Summer, An Island Full of Secrets, a gripping love story. And I hadn't read a lot of Karen Swan other than her like Christmas at Tiffany's book, which was very, very thick. So it was really nice to read something else by her. And this one was definitely one of the quicker reads. This one was 103 pages, and so was a different read because the other ones all go kind of like very like themed or a little bit dark, and so it was interesting to read that one. And then we have a little bit of non-fiction. We have Without Warning and Only Sometimes, a story of love, laughter and hope by Kit DeWall. And this is like literally her story. And I read this one first just because it was nonfiction and I needed to pick up a little bit of nonfiction. And so, managed to actually get outside to read this one as well, which was exciting. And this one is 111 pages. This one's potentially the longest one. But I really enjoyed that they had not only a bit of romance in here and a bit of YA, but nonfiction too. I think that this year's collection is probably the most well-rounded collection that they've done so far, and I really appreciate that. And then we had one that I was probably, out of all of them, the most excited to read because it was a bit of a thriller. and I do like a bit of a thriller. Apparently it's a gripping thriller. And this one is Those People Next Door by Kia Abdullah. Welcome to your dream home, meet your new neighbours and prepare for the nightmare to begin. So this is a little bit like the Louise Candlish novel that sounds very similar, but it goes in a whole different direction and deals with kind of racism and what you do if you live in a sort of racist neighborhood. And it was twisty and turny, and I think probably my favorite. I really did love the abridged Boys Don't Cry as well, though, and this one actually is the longest one at 130 pages. So as you can see, they range from 93 pages to 130 pages, and as I've said, it's definitely a well-rounded collection. We've got queer romance, we've got thriller, we've got YA, we've got historical romance, we've got nonfiction, and we've got another thriller. But these two thrillers, I would call this one more of a crime novel than a thriller, and this one is your more like traditional psychological thriller. So I'm going to show you me reading all of them just now and sort of my thoughts as they're reading, and I will come back and give you a bit of a summary when I come back. So as you can see here, I'm talking about Without Warning by Kit DeWall, and how much I was enjoying the fact that I started with a non-fiction book. I really enjoyed this. I knew nothing about this author before, and unfortunately this clip has no sound, but it was lovely reading this one, and I'm really glad that I started with it. I would definitely recommend it, and I'm really glad that they added it to the collection. So I have brought this one to bed with me. This one is Karen Swan, The Last Summer, An Island Full of Secrets, A Gripping Love Story. I have read a grand total of one other Karen Swan book, and it was that like thick Christmas Tiffany's book, and I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember it was very thick, but this one is she lived on St Kilda, but then Lord Sholto visits the island, and the attraction between them is instant. One glorious week, she guides the handsome young lord around the island, falls in love for the first time, but a storm hits and their worlds fall apart. 3 months later, presumably that's where we meet them, the islanders have moved to a better life on the mainland, and Effie is surprised to be offered a job working for Sholto's father. But Sholto and Effie come from two different worlds. Can their love ever win? So it's based on the true history of St Kilda and the small island community. So that's an interesting one. All I know about St Kilda is the birds, the bird colony. So we shall see how we get on with this one. I have the two other darker ones. I've got the Matt Kane one is arriving tomorrow, and then the Mallory Blackman one is arriving on Thursday, and so the other two were darker ones, which I didn't think was an ideal before bed, so that's why we're picking this one up now. So I'm not sure I understand everything that's going on, but it seems quite like negative, quite sort of dour, and these chapters are so short. So this one is just bang on 100 pages. I think it's 101, but with chapters this short, it's going quite quickly. We're already on page 40, so I think it's going to be a quick read. Hopefully I gather what's going on. We're sort of going over to the mainland now, as it said in the blurb. So but there's been quite a bit of death already. Well, that was a very quick reads. As I say, it was 101 pages, but because there were short chapters, it was very quick. there was some romance there. It was a little bit historical. It's probably not for me. I definitely preferred the non-fiction better out of the two that I've read so far. I'm excited to sort of read the crimey horror ones as well. But yeah, it's definitely for someone, and if you're looking for a very quick read, especially I think if you're already a fan of Karen Swan, then I think that you will like this one. And it did talk about the birds on St Kilda as well, so I was like, oh, I know something about the island, that's good. So yeah, so we will pick up another one tomorrow. So over breakfast this morning, I have the option of Those People Next Door, Welcome to Your Dream Home, Meet Your New Neighbours and Prepare for the Nightmare to Begin, which is by Kaya Abdullah, author of Take It Back and Next of Kim. And then the other one we have is a Jo Nesbø book, which I feel like I've only read a Jo Nesbø book when it was a Quickreads one a couple of years ago. A murder mystery from one of the world's best crime writers on a Greek island. A man is found dead. His own twin might have killed him. And Nikos Bali is searching for the murderer, but he has his own secrets he wants to hide. I'm feeling more this one, but then maybe that means I should read this one. I don't know. Let's see. Wow, yeah. Maybe it isn't a Jo Nesbø one that I've read before. I feel like it is though. Right, this one's shorter. We're going with this one. So whilst the last book had very short chapters, this book has very long chapters, because I was like, oh, I'll just read to the end of this chapter and then get on with the work that I need to do. No, I'm on page 66. This is the end of chapter 2. Like, there was one very short prologue chapter, and then the rest was all one big chapter. I mean, there was like little, like, double lines in the paragraphs, and some asterisks where you could have kind of put another chapter. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've read other Jo Nesbø books. Are they all like this with no chapters? Because I couldn't cope with that. But yeah, it was exciting. It's set in Greece. I thought something was happening. It wasn't happening. There's been a reveal, and we're now on 5 years later, and there's less than 30 pages left in the book. So I guess we're gonna finish. Well, that one was definitely more of like one complete sort of short story focusing on one person and one sort of crime. There was quite a lot of climbing in it, which I thought was interesting, because there was like cliff climbing in the previous one on St Kilda. Yeah, climbing in Greece, bit of, you know, twin crimes of passion type of thing. Literally the jealous man. This chief inspector is particularly good at finding out crimes involving jealousy for some reason, and you find out why. So yeah, it was one complete story. Didn't take me that long to read, maybe like hour and a half max. And yeah, another quick read ticked off. All three have been very different so far, which I think is great, because it means that there's something for everyone in this collection. So we got the next one through the mail. Never satisfying with this rip tab, is it? Oh, almost the right way up. Aha! So this one is about a guy who's on the football team, and he's worried about his young daughter and sick father, and journalist Cosmo Roberts wants to change the world, so he's angry when he's sent to a quiet northern town to cover a sport that seems anti-gay. And then something about Tom catches his eye. Cosmo hates football, Tom hates journalists. Perhaps this time they've both met their match. Sounds to me like a bit of enemies to lovers, doesn't it to you? So we're going to read this one while I soak my feet in the bath, because they're still not better from my holiday. How funny is that? But the best part is that we have a little Starbucks to go with it. This is the caramel macadamia oat shake and espresso, and I had a coupon for buy one get one free, so I have one for today and got myself one for tomorrow, so that's chilling in the fridge. So I only read the first couple of chapters of this the other night while I was soaking my feet, because it was like sore and I couldn't really get comfortable, and then I haven't sort of picked it up again this week, but I am on chapter 4. Because it goes back and forth, but it isn't necessarily like, okay, this chapter is Tom's chapter and this chapter is Cosmo's chapter. You know how sometimes they put it at the top? I need to like concentrate to keep track on whose chapter it is. I do have a blanket because despite the fact that it being the 20th of April and clearly there's some sunshine, it's really cold, which is why I'm also still in my pajamas, because I was like, cozy out of bed. But picking this up, I did get to try the, I've got a tissue on it because it's so cold, the Biscoff Frappuccino thing, or frappe thing from McDonald's. I know I'm normally against a Frappuccino, but I thought I would try it because it's new and I like Biscoff. And I was like, could go for like a sweet coffee today. It's not as sweet as you might think it would be. Definitely had a lot sweeter coffees when I was in Disney World. But yeah, we've got that, and we've got Game On by Matt Cain, and also in the mail day before yesterday, it came like a day earlier than it was supposed to, got the Quickreads version of Boys Don't Cry. Now, when you look at these two together, like the Boys Don't Cry looks so much thicker, and it kind of like, it feels weightier, but actually it is still a quick read. It is still only, there's 124 pages. Now this one I don't think is that many pages, but this is 116 pages. So there's only actually 8 pages in it. So the speed of a mental maths of a year 6 teacher. But it feels so much longer than this one. And like the text's the same size and everything, because obviously they've got a standard like font that they use for the Quick Reads books, which is great because I think it's a dyslexia friendly font. Like it's exactly the same, but yeah. Yeah, it came slightly sort of dented, but at least I now have all the books. So this one will be number 4, and then I've got Boys Don't Cry and this one, which I'm really excited for, Those People Next Door to read left. So I'm like halfway through the 2, and obviously I only really read like these 3 just last weekend, so yeah, it'd be cool. Quite an emotional ending. It was like, ooh, powerful, like right on, game on. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, can you love the player if you hate the game? Definitely like classic enemies to lovers trope, but with kind of being openly gay in the Premier League football media story undertone. Which was really interesting, and like I say, the ending just made me really happy. It's amazing how you can go on like this whole like journey with these people in 112 pages of like large print writing, and whilst I read the first like 20-ish pages the other day, I read the rest of the like 90 or so pages just now, and that took me less than an hour, about an hour-ish. So yeah, really good quick read. This is like, I feel like this year's quick reads are properly like typically what quick reads are, and I like that about them. So we're starting this weekend with Those People Next Door and a lovely latte. I've just read the first chapter. I'm very intrigued. It's kind of like, what is it? It's a bit like that Louise Candlish so far, you know, ooh, an ideal street. I never thought I'd be able to buy here, but yeah, we're gonna see how we get on. You can see it's very, especially more, I've got some fluff in my hair here. It was a long week. I didn't do any reading this week, so we'll see how we get on with this one. I've got this one and then the Mallory Blackman to go, and then I'll have read the full set and can bring you my entire thoughts. can tell that I am very into this book because I'm like taking it with me when I move around the house. So just went into the kitchen to get something, took it with me. You can see there's a bit of butter on it. And I've just finished part 1, and at 69 pages, we are starting part 2. It's literally a page turner. I'm loving it. Wow, that was so twisty in like, you know, so few pages. This one's 127, and it's 3 parts, and it's just, yeah, so twisty, so good. I would definitely read something else from this author. You kind of like think it's going in one direction, and then there's a twist, and then you think it's going in another direction, and then there's a reveal, and you think it's going in another direction, and even like on the last page there's something else revealed. So I thought that was just fabulous. And now we'll go on to the Quickreads version of Boys Don't Cry. So I think this one's interesting because it's got contents, and then it's got a sort of a bit of a guide that some parts are told from one perspective and some parts are told from another perspective. And then there's also a care warning here as well, which is the first time I've seen it in this kind of format, almost like on packaging. But yeah, I read this book years ago. Like, I think when I first sort of started blogging and I got invited to some YA things and somebody recommended that I read it. I think it was kind of when I just discovered BookTube as well. And so it'll be interesting to read a condensed, abridged Quickreads version of it. But yeah, it'll be, I think I listened to the audio as well, so it'll be interesting to read it in book form. It's very shiny. I think that's how it ended up getting bashed in the mail. Well, that was really good. Obviously, because it's more YA than adult, it took me just under an hour to read it. So yeah, reading these 2 books, completely different books, obviously both from this year's Quick Read series, and finishing the 6 books that have been released this year, was a great way to spend a Saturday morning. Really, really recommend all of these books. They're all so different, but they're also unique. I think I will muse upon it further and then come back with a bit of a wrap up for you. So thank you for joining me in reading these books. As I said at the beginning, I think that probably Those People Next Door was my favourite one, just because it was so unputdownable. I think it was a really good collection this year. The only one I really didn't connect with was The Last Summer by Karen Swan, and I just think that was because it verged onto that historical, and I don't gel with historical as much as I do with the contemporary romance. But all the others I really enjoyed. I love the fact there was a non-fiction in here. I love the fact there was a YA in here and a sort of condensed version of another book. And it really does look like that is a chunkier book, but it really isn't. It's so interesting. I think that they've done such a good job of this year's Quick Reads titles, and I'm really pleased that it's still going, and I will continue to make these videos and share these books with you every single year because I do think they are fantastic. And yes, with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know which one in comments you would like to read the most, and they will all be linked below if you are looking to order them as well. I will be back with another video for you very soon, so make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that one. If you enjoyed this format of video, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, I will see you with my next one. Thanks for watching.